looking at Nigeria, do we have a competitive policy in place?
I don't think so. But you see, sometimes it's difficult to have it because of the way the economy is framed and because of our ethnic diversity and the political system we run, the type of party politics we run. You see, Nigeria's problem is, first of all, trying to be a big brother. You are hungry, you have to feed your brother before you feed yourself. Take, for instance, Nigeria joined ECOWAS protocols in terms of free border. Now, Togo, Benin Republic, and the Ghana become transit nations for foreign-made goods that enter their seaports and then they transit to Nigeria because there was no custom union when we did this. Had it been we had custom union, it means that Nigeria customs will be manning together with Togolese their borders, their borders, to see whether the goods that is coming to Nigeria are really made in Togo or just become transit using Togo as a transit to.
But do we have such unions now?
No, we don't have custom union. So that's why countries like Kenya, like Ghana, went in the late 90s to invest massively in infrastructure, particularly power infrastructure, so that to become more competitive than Nigeria, so that most Nigerian business manufacturers were able to relocate to China, to Ghana, and they're able to still ship the goods back to Nigeria without paying duties. So what we have to do, as I continue to tell you, whether we want it local or international, the most important thing we have to do, we have to reduce the cost of doing business. And to reduce that, we must invest massively in infrastructure. Because as soon as you invest in infrastructure, then you reduce the cost of doing business.
But you know that China also plays a part of Big Brother as well, because that's what you've just said. That Nigeria, in a bid to play the role of Big Brother.
No, China says, I know China very well, so it does not go there. China says, China first. When we are able to stand on our feet, then we help our brothers. Do you know China from 1979 to 2003, 2004, China was actually exporting. China was not allowing anything to come into China. It is when China discovered that it was develop its local consumer market. If not, if anything happens externally, it won't have a shock absorber to absorb external forces. So China has never been a big brother. In fact, it has been business all through until recently. It has been business all through. Now, getting back to the point we are making is, first of all, Nigeria is corrupt. Corruption has been believed to be a problem in Nigeria.
But Nigeria isn't the only country.
It's not the only country, but you are asking me what do we do in order to make Nigeria competitive. So we have to reduce even the mindset, even the perception that Nigeria is corrupt. We have to reduce that. Two, we have to reduce the recurrent expenditure. The recurrent expenditure, which is so high. Can you imagine less than 1% of Nigeria workforce spending over 70% of the country's earnings? Which country behaves like that? The cost of running business in Nigeria is excessively high. It's just like you are a business person. You get your profit. Instead of investing your profit, you spend the profit. You are not moving forward. So we must find one, because China did it in 1979. What they did was to do what they call forensic personnel auditing. If you do forensic personnel auditing, you know actually how many people that are working, whether they are productive or not. Then you remove the dead wood so that you become efficient. I don't see the reason why Nigeria should have.
Sorry, you said remove the dead wood.
Yes.
That's people who aren't contributing actively to production and.
Exactly.
Now, if
reduce the cost of you see, it's only in Nigeria.
Can I quickly just ask, because it's still going to be part of what I think you're going to say. If you remove that workforce that you feel isn't going to be as active or doesn't have a strong participation in pushing the economy forward, what do you do with them? Because you see that also becomes another challenge.
I agree with you. The China did it. You know what China did? China removed 28 million people within 1 year and put them on a small salary and ask them to find businesses they can do, and the government will support them. But in the meantime, because the economy starts growing quickly, the same people that were laid off become absorbed by private sector. That's what I'm saying. Because, my sister, there are no two ways about it. Either we free the money that is just stuck in big government, or we remain where we are, because we cannot be making a budget of $32 billion every year and we just have about 5 or 6 billion for capital expenditure. It cannot work. It cannot work. Even the person lending your money knows that you're not serious. So we must reduce cost of doing business. Are you trying to tell me it's fair that the president has so many presidential jets, whereas the American president has only 1 or 2? That's what I'm saying. We have to reduce the cost. Let our leaders. I was in China. I see the Chinese ministers dressing like average human beings, driving small cars. That's what I'm saying. Wearing, in fact, I was shocked when I saw one of the ministers wearing rubber shoes. That's what I mean. I was shocked. He said this is a minister. I won't mention his title. So Nigerian leaders must see that coming to leadership is just to serve the people. You are not the master. You are the servant. A servant cannot be living bigger than the master. So they must change that mindset. Let our leaders stop this fashion show they are doing. Stop this car competition and focus on how to serve the people. When the people see it, people will love them. But when you are there just to make money for yourself, become a billionaire, I've never seen any former Nigerian president, any former Nigerian minister, any former Nigerian governor who is looking for a job. As soon as they finish, they live big until they die.
Orderly.
Yes.
We're talking about the problems. We're talking about the challenges.
Yes.
Let's talk about the solutions.
The solutions?
Yes.
But I've told you the solution. One of the first solutions will be we must invest in infrastructure. So that, look at, there was a plane crash yesterday. Foreign investors coming to Nigeria will be afraid to fly. Yes, sir. Myself, let me tell you, before I came here, I was just shivering on the plane. Because you have not, if Nigeria could go to, if AREC and the Aero, Nigeria could give them a possibility to go and buy. I was in China, a southern China company bought 47 planes. Bought 47 planes. You didn't have the money. The government supported it. Why can't the Nigerian government support AREC and the Aero, the 2 major districts? Go and acquire about 30 planes. We become your guarantors.
But